I'm in Shenandoah National Park. This is up in the Northern District. And this is the Piney River Ranger Station. Yep, there's my little red car. And I'm going to close up my car and we're going to head down here by this sign that says Piney River Ranger Station, and we're going to keep on going until we find the Rangeview cabin. It's one of the cabins you can rent from PATC. And then off that trail I'm going to take the Piney River, Piney Ridge Trail and just hike that for a ways today. It's supposed to thunderstorm this afternoon, but I thought maybe I could get a hike in here this morning before it gets too crazy. It's pretty humid up here today. It feels like it's going to be kind of hot and nasty. But anyway, going to get a hike in, and I might look for another old family cemetery once we get down the trail a ways. Over here is one of the old original buildings that was built by the Civilian Conservation Corps. Back when they created the park, they needed barracks for the men, and this is one of the old buildings. It's getting pretty dilapidated. I'll take a couple pictures of it for you. There's a sign over here. They're asking for financial help getting it renovated. Well, I tell you what, if they don't do something soon, it's just gonna fall down. But anyway, I'll take a few pictures. Out there, Skyline Drive, and across the street on the other side is the Matthews Arm Campground. The elevation here is 3,050 feet. Okay, so my car's parked up there. You come down around this little windy road past the gravel piles, and then you'll see this right here, the old fire road. So let's head on down here. If you follow this down far enough, it takes you down to the Rangeview cabin. Three-tenths of a mile into my hike, I'm down to 2980, and so fork in the road here. We're going to keep going straight, but this left branch over here, this is the Appalachian Trail right here, part of it. And if you look at that tree up there, it's blazed white. So that's the Appalachian Trail heading southbound. We're going to stay on the old fire road. Four-tenths of a mile into my hike, I'm down to 2970. Here's where I came from, and when you're coming down here to the left, there's a feature on the map that's called Radio Facility. And there it is there. I'm not going to bother going down there, but it's probably just some kind of like a microwave link. That looks like a microwave dish on top of that little shed. So anyway, that's that, and we're going to keep heading on down the side of the mountain on this old fire road. Six-tenths of a mile into my hike. I'm down to 2930. Real gentle sloping so far. And we're going to stay straight on this road, but here's the second crossing of the Appalachian Trail. And there's where it comes from. So there's the AT heading northbound, and there it is continuing to the south. So if you want to get on the AT and hike a section, you know, it's a good place to start. We're going to keep on descending on this old fire road. Six-tenths of a mile into my hike, I'm down at 29:10, and this branch off to the right, this is the Piney Ridge Trail. That's the trail I'm planning to hike. And between here and when you get into the deep woods, it looks pretty nasty, overgrown. So I'm going to backtrack to here, but for now I'm going to continue on down the fire road down to the range view cabin so you can see what that looks like. It's not too much further, maybe another tenth of a mile or so. So we'll go down there and I get a couple pictures for you. Seven-tenths of a mile into my hike, I'm down to 28:90, and there's the range view cabin. Now, here's hopefully this shows up, but this is the kind of nasty tall grass situation you end up with on some of these trails in the summertime. It doesn't look like anybody's there. So, assuming nobody's over there, I'll walk over and get a couple of closer shots for you. Then I'm going to turn around and head back up to the Piney Ridge Trail. One 1.5 miles into my hike, I'm down at 2690 elevation, and you notice that tree there is got a double blaze on it, which indicates a direction change. And it looks to me like the road, the original road, just keeps going straight. Be interesting to hike that maybe in the wintertime. But it looks, I guess they abandoned it for some reason, and they've created this side trail over here. So I'll follow this and see if it may rejoin the original road down the trail a ways. So let's see what happens. Well, there's an interesting pile of rocks right there alongside the road. So somebody was doing something up here. The past couple of tenths of a mile I've been walking through a forest of mostly pine trees. See that up there? And the trail, instead of being covered with dirt and leaves, it's covered with pine needles. So Shenandoah's version of the Pine Barrens. 2.3 miles into my hike. I'm down to 2,600 feet elevation. I've passed, that's where it came from, and I've passed a number of these areas. I'm just going to do a 360 sweep for you here. There's a whole bunch of areas up here along this ridge line that are like this. They're very flat and open, really. You know, 90 years ago, this was probably completely cleared off. It's pretty clear now, really, compared to some of the other areas. So, anyway, bunch of areas that look like that. And I'm going to continue on this way. I'm going to hike down until I get to where this trail splits into two trails. And right in that area is where there's supposed to be one of these old family cemeteries. Now, if the area where the cemetery is looks like this, I should be able to find it. But if it's, you know, total overgrown, maybe not. So we'll press on here. I think it's, let's see, let me look at my GPS. It's about another 4/10 of a mile to the split in the trail. .9 miles into my hike. I'm down to 2360. And by a miracle of science, I happened to see this little teeny beaten path off the trail. And I followed it back here, oh, I don't know, 25 yards, 30 yards. And here's the old cemetery. That's my GPS beeping at me, telling me I'm here. So I'll get some still pictures. This is supposed to be the Dwyer family cemetery. I'm going to have to hurry up because it looks, I think I'm going to get rained on. But I'll get some, but this is definitely it. There's even a little bench right here. So, and that one right there, let's see. That's, you know, it's interesting, it doesn't have the last name on it, but it says Father Alfred, 1831 to 1919. Mother Mary, 1843 to 1927. And there's the Confederate States of America, Iron Cross. And let me get a few more pictures. It's really overgrown though. There's a few more headstones back there. And that crashing sound you hear is thunder. Okay, here's one that says Texana H, wife of G.W. Payne, P-A-Y-N-E, March 30th, 1873, April 12th, 1911. So this is last name Payne. Looks like somebody's been back here replacing headstones. That one says Thomas B. Dwyer, 1796 to 1870. And that's a modern headstone there. And here's the same name, Thomas B. Dwyer, sitting over here to the side. I can't hardly read it, but I can read the name, Thomas B. Dwyer. Same as this one. And that looks like Mary, the old one. And here's the new one. Mary Martin, Dwyer, 1790 to 1865. Now looks like somebody's been back in here recently, because this says Albert Scott Sudduth Sr., March 1932 to July 2007, son of Albert Florentine Sudduth and Florence Ella Dwyer. So the way that's laid up against that tree, I'm guessing that that's somebody had their ashes spread back in here. I got to get out of here. The weather's getting ready to get nasty, but that's the cemetery. You can find it now, but it would be a lot easier to see it in the wintertime. But it's on this sloped hill here, and it's it's clear, relatively clear of trees. And then back that way, you can see this little footpath takes you back to the trail. And then down this way to the right is where the branch off is. So I repositioned I got the GPS coordinates, so I should have some accurate coordinates. Just some landmarks looking for this place. When you're coming down on the right, you'll see that there, that rock, and then you'll see this little pile of rocks here. And this big tree knocked down, dead, and then maybe you can see that footpath heads back over there. Okay, I'm just a couple of 100 yards past the cemetery turnoff, and here's the signpost. If you keep going straight, this changes to the Fork Mountain Trail, heading that way. And if you want to stay on the Piney Branch Trail, you have to turn left and go this way. And this has about, from here down to the Piney River, it's like another 800-foot drop. So I'm not going to do that today, and the weather's getting really threatening, so I'm going to turn around and start heading back. I hope I can get back before the sky opens up here. .2 miles into my hike. I'm up to 2650. I'm back to the Pine Barrens. That's what I'm going to start calling this place, the Pine Barrens. And some of these blown down trees, to me, like that one right there, if you look at what's left of the limbs and stuff, I don't know, that looks a lot like maybe it used to be a hemlock tree. It's been dead for a long time, but hemlocks have limbs that stick out like that. There's the end of it. Here's the other end of it over here. It fell across the trail many years ago, I guess. But there used to be lots of hemlocks and chestnut trees in this park, but they all died out due to bugs and diseases and stuff. I'm going to sit here in the Pine Barrens and drink some water, and then I'll continue on. So I'm up to 2650. I got to get up to 3,000 feet. Five miles into my hike, I'm up to 2940. Here's where I came from. And here's the intersection with the Appalachian Trail. And I'm headed back up this way to my car, about another half mile. This is a map of today's hike. The quadrangle name is Thornton Gap 1994, and I hiked mainly the Piney Ridge Trail. I hiked it down to a split in the trail, and near the split I looked for and found the Dwyer family cemetery. This red line is Skyline Drive, and this is the Elk Wallow Gap. There's a service station here, and food, and a picnic area. And Skyline Drive comes up around a bend like this, and this is about mile marker 22. And you come in here and you park in the it goes by two different names. There's a range view cabin parking area there, and there's also a sign there that says Piney River Ranger Station. It's on the next map to the north, but it's a short distance up here, so I didn't bother to show it, but it would be, you could find it on the Bentonville quadrangle. Anyway, you park up here and you get on this fire road. You walk down past the sign that says the ranger station, and you just go past some rock piles, and you just keep going straight on the old fire road. And you follow this road down. Now when I got down to here, you'll notice there's a little circle there that says radio facility. So I showed that, took a picture of that. That looks like a microwave tower now. It might have been something different back in 1994, but it looks like a microwave tower now. And then anyway, keep on coming down to here, and you go around this bend here, and this road just dead ends right here. This is the Range View Cabin. This is a cabin that you can rent from PATC, Potomac Appalachian Trail Club. So I took some pictures of that, then I backtracked to here, and then there's a signpost here that will direct you down this way on this Piney Ridge Trail. And so followed this for quite a ways, mile and a half or so, and eventually you'll get yourself down to a split right here, and if you go to the left, you'll be on the Piney Ridge Trail continued. Now this thing makes a really drastic drop, like 800 feet, down to the Piney River down here. And then if you go straight, this is the beginning of what they call the Fork Mountain Trail down this way. Now just before this split, like maybe 100 yards before the split, over here to the west is where the Dwyer family cemetery is. So I took some pictures of that. It's pretty overgrown right now, so it would be best seen in the winter, like all these things. But I was able to find it now. And then I went ahead and turned around and hiked to the north like this, all the way back up to my car. So it's a real simple hike. Ended up being 5.6 miles and 886 feet of ascent. So, you know, decent length hike, and not a huge amount of elevation, but some. And that was the hike for today.